بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا ونبينا محمد وآله الطاهرين اللهم صل على روي عن الرسول صلى الله عليه وآله إنما بعثت لأتمم مكارم الأخلاق. Illuminate your hearts and minds with a loud salawat ala Muhammadin wa ali Muhammad. Any group or any single nation that there might be, they all give off their own types of views and their own appearances and opinions on themselves through how they are and the different appearances or characteristics, traits that they may have. For example, Christianity, it has given us the opinion that it is a very lenient religion. Everyone who believes in Christ will reach salvation, and it's simple as that. And so it's not only by the belief system that one might get a opinion view from a certain group, denomination, nation, or a group of people, but also by the acts or characteristics of the specific people, not the whole faith or idea in general, but every single person, the impact of every single person's attitude. We say this because of its importance even within the religion of Islam. Though a lot of people nowadays are starting to slowly come and revert to Islam, lots of people from Christians, from Hindus, from a lot of different beliefs and thoughts, there are still many of those who are uncomfortable or very under pressure when trying to even think or have the idea that Islam is a religion of peace and a religion of true salvation and happiness. The reason being because of the individual characteristics or attitudes that each and every one of those who are in the community, who are in the group, faith, or idea have. When we speak of behaviors, manners, characteristics, traits, we usually come to this conclusion of akhlaq, one's manners or morals. Now, in the Islamic religion, one's manners and morals are things or tools that have a very big impact and have had a very big impact on our religion and faith today. So many have come to Islam. Why? Because it's a very modest religion. It's a very respecting religion. And because of these morals and attitudes, behaviors that Islam has, so many are compelled and attracted towards Islam. But many, even though the religion and idea itself may have very peaceful, calm, and kind and caring views and ideas, there are many of the group, single people, different people, not the whole idea in general, but there are some who, through their bad attitudes and manners, give off an idea of the religion as a whole. Meaning that some might be bad mouth, some might be arrogant, some might be disrespectful, and because of each and every single one of these traits or behaviors that are shown, it gives off a type of dislike and people's disrespect or their disregard for Islam. And so it is important to mention that every single one of us have morals and behaviors or attitudes, respects and well manners that we all have from religion. Now there might be some atheists that say religion is objective, or subjective, but it's a different topic. That's not going to be disconcerting us tonight. What we say as Muslims is that we derive our morals, our akhlaq from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, from what he has taught through the Ahlul Bayt and the Quran. When we are speaking of morals, we tend to think about one's respect towards their elders, one's kind-heartedness towards society. But no, when we are speaking of akhlaq, it's a very big category which is containing of these things, respect and kind-heartedness, but many more. One shouldn't be, for example, arrogant. Though I might not show my arrogance towards others, I might not portray it through my appearance, but I shouldn't be arrogant of myself, full of myself. One of the examples. And so we take akhlaq or our morals by the teachings or the category that is very general, which has been taught to us by the Ahlul Bayt and the Quran. Now, I would like to mention that our test as humans who have been created on this earth, in this world, is that we may reach the best version of ourselves. And so we take these examples from the prophets, the Prophet Muhammad, for example. Allah. Who is the most perfect example for each and every single one of us of a better version, of a better human. Being a better human doesn't mean that because I'm a human already, doesn't mean that I don't have any progress. But the truth lies in what being a human is. Each and every single one of us can be included in the category of animals. And humans are animals themselves, or they're mammals. It's pretty clear. But what makes the human distinct from animals is the way that they use their intelligence and the way that they portray their behaviors and attitudes. Otherwise, we might reach this conclusion or relate that for a human to be a better version, to be greater, is to be better in terms of humanitical perspectives and ideas. We humans can speak respectfully. We do not moo like a cow, for example. We do not make a sound. We do not bark like horses, like dogs, for example. And because of our very respectful and reputable traits and characteristics, behaviors, we cause a difference or a distinction, a big distinction between ourselves and animals through our intellect and our behaviors, manners. When we say that we have been created by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala so that we may be tested to be a better version of ourselves, we are trying to imply that being a better human. For the pinnacle of humanity is the Prophet, peace be upon him. And we take all our examples from him because we can see that both in intellect and manner-wise, behavior-wise, he was the most perfect out of all of creation, out of all of the first human up until now. So we try to judge and attain a better version of ourselves through our akhlaq and intellect. But we will be going over, which will be concerning us tonight, over this part, our akhlaq and morals. And so as we have said, for a human to become better, it is in a way or in one part through their akhlaq or morals. And when someone is better behaved, better moraled, with better khulq, they obviously have a better sense or a better status and as a human. And definitely because our test as humans is to become better humans, as is depicted in the Persian language, for example, they tell each other Adam bash, meaning that be a human, meaning be a good and respectable human, a reputable human. We can also see that because our purpose is to become better humans, and as it's our test, obviously if we get a better score, we are more dear to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And because if we get a good test, naturally our status and levels as humans might heighten, increase, and we may be more beloved in the eyes of subhanahu wa ta'ala. And we can see this exact thought being brought in a hadith from the Prophet, our Prophet, the Prophet Muhammad, where he says, أحبكم إلى الله أحسنكم أخلاقا. The most beloved or dear among you to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala are the ones who are better and greater in their morals and their akhlaq and their khulq. Why? As we have already said, it's because our human nature desires and requests from us, demands that we grow. When we achieve a very respectable and reputable status in the eyes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we are respected. Why? Because the better we are in our akhlaq and morals, the better we are as human beings themselves. In another hadith from the Prophet, peace be upon him, says, أَفْضَلُ النَّاسِ إِيمَانًا أَحْسَنُهُمْ خُلُقًا. The best among you of humans, the human creation, are those who are the best in their morals and their behaviors. Well, the behaviors can be included inside the category of morals. And so we can see this a perfect portrayal or a very great portrayal of akhlaq in a story or an incident regarding a person or one of our most great scholars by the name of Hajj Mullah Mahdi Naraqi. Now, there is a book which many of you might know, many of you might love and hold dear, the book of Mi'raj al-Sa'ada. Now, the writer of this book is not going to be our concern tonight. This is Mullah Ahmad Naraqi, the son of Mullah Mahdi Naraqi. We're going to be talking about Mullah Mahdi Naraqi, the father. Mullah Mahdi Naraqi, who was among our greatest scholars, had published many works and was very respected in the scholarly community and in the Tashayyu or Shiism. He was one of our greatest scholars. And he had written a book by the name of Jama' al-Sa'adat. Now, before we engage and continue in this incident, one thing must be mentioned, a note, is that during the time of Mullah Mahdi Naraqi, there was also another scholar who was another one of the most famous and prominent scholars, a person or a sheikh by the name of Sayyid Bahrul Ulum. Sayyid Bahrul Ulum was a very mysterious and strange man, a person who some even portray him as the friend of the Imam of our time, the Imam Mahdi. A person who that even those some come and tell stories that he in night sometimes he would hold a bag on his shoulder and he would go to the houses of the poor, those who are in poverty, and he would distribute food and also some money to them and come and help with throughout all the problems that there were in the group or community that he was in. He was a very hardworking and influential person. And so this book of Jama' al-Sa'adat from Mullah Mahdi Naraqi, when it was published, one of the copies reached Najaf, the place where Sayyid Bahrul Ulum himself was residing and he himself had been staying in. Well, some of his companions, the followers of Sayyid Bahrul Ulum, said that, Sayyid Bahrul Ulum, O Shaykh, come and look at this book that has been published recently. This book is by the name of this book in the name of Jama' al-Sa'adat. It seems to be a pretty interesting book. We would like to have your opinion on it. And so he got the book, he opened it, and he read a few pages, and he said, "Wow, what a great book this is. This book is really needed in the Shia community." After a few more pages, he read, and he kept saying that, "Wow, what a great book this is. What a very well deserving of praise book this is. This book contains so many solutions to so many problems that it should be way more known to the Shia community." So after this incident where Sayyid Bahrul Ulum himself had saw the book, had studied the book, a while after, Mullah Mahdi Naraqi, the publisher of the book itself, had come to Najaf or Iraq to visit and do the pilgrimage or ziyarah of the different holy shrines that are in Iraq. When he came to Najaf, he was first accompanied and visited by many of the other scholars that were there. Why? Because everyone had found out that a very big scholar by the name of Mullah Mahdi Naraqi was coming. They wanted to come to him, speak with him, see his opinions and ideas, and to learn from him. What was he saying? What was he preaching? What was he like? And so a very interesting person, a very popular person, everyone started coming and visiting him. After the visits and the guesting was done, Mullah Mahdi Naraqi decided to return and pay a visit to those who had visited him prior. So after he checked the list of those who he had visited, he finished visiting and repaying visits to those who had come to visit him. And he said that, why do we not go and visit the house, or why do we not go and visit Sayyid Bahrul Ulum? He's a very great person. It's a waste. We're in Najaf. Why don't we go and visit him? And so first his followers, companions said that he didn't visit you. I mean, is there a reason why you're visiting him? Said Mullah Mahdi Naraqi said that Bahrul Ulum is a very great person. A person that is like this is definitely deserving of me to come and visit him and to learn from him. And so they set off. They went to Sayyid Bahrul Ulum's house, and Mullah Mahdi Naraqi came and said to Sayyid Bahrul Ulum, Salamun Alaikum, and Sayyid Bahrul Ulum replied to him with this obviously obligatory reply, Wa Alaikum Assalam. And he didn't know who this was because he hadn't seen Sayyid Mullah Mahdi Naraqi in person before. So then some of the people, or the people who were accompanying Sayyid Bahrul Ulum who were around, told to Sayyid Bahrul Ulum in his ear and whispered that this is Mullah Mahdi Naraqi, the person that you were praising so much of his book, Jama al-Sa'adat. This is him. And so Mullah Sayyid Bahrul Ulum replied, okay, so. And so this kind of shocked and surprised those who were with Sayyid Bahrul Ulum. Why? Because Sayyid Bahrul Ulum was praising him so much, was talking about how great his work was. Why would he be so, why would he turn in 180 degree out of nowhere for no reason? And so the time that said that Mullah Mahdi Naraqi was there had been passed, and he decided to get up and leave. After leaving, he visited the shrines of Karbala and Najaf, and when he finished, he decided to once again, he said, why don't we go and visit Sayyid Bahrul Ulum once more? It would be a shame. We're in Najaf, why don't we come and visit him once again? And so when he came to visit Sayyid Bahrul Ulum, this time Sayyid Bahrul Ulum knew who he was. He knew this was Mullah Mahdi Naraqi. And when Mullah Mahdi Naraqi said Salamun Alaikum to him, he replied by saying Wa Alaikum Assalam in a very cold manner. Everyone was shocked, and they started to have the hint, they started to feel that there was a hint of disrespect here. It was as if that Sayyid Bahrul Ulum was being disrespectful towards Mullah Mahdi Naraqi. And during the entire time of Mullah Mahdi Naraqi's stay with Sayyid Bahrul Ulum was very cold and stern with him. Then after the time that Mullah Mahdi Naraqi was staying, he got up and said, okay, I have to leave. And he left. Now, after these two visits, everyone started to get this feeling that, yes, there's a type of quarrel going on between these two. Either Sayyid Bahrul Ulum doesn't like him, or Mullah Mahdi Naraqi did something. There's a very cold and awkward feeling between these two. And now none of us should be taking this lightly, because even if someone among us ourselves were to sternly reply with a Salam Alaikum, we would be after blood from that person. He's replied to me in such a way, he has to have a problem with me, I'm going to get back at him. So after the end of Mullah Mahdi Naraqi's stay in Iraq, he said that because we're leaving, it would be a waste my final time to go and visit Sayyid Bahrul Ulum once more. And they told him, Mullah Mahdi Naraqi, it's enough. You've been to him and visited him 2 times. You haven't even been accepted a single time. He was very stern and cold with you. Why? It's enough. Come on, you don't need any more disrespect like that. Sayyid Bahrul Ulum, Sayyid Mullah Mahdi Naraqi replied, he says that, no, Sayyid Bahrul Ulum is a very great person. Whenever someone looks in his face, they're reminded of Allah. It'll be a waste to not visit him, so we shall go. They went and visited Sayyid Bahrul Ulum and Mullah Mahdi Naraqi. When coming in, before he had entered, Sayyid Bahrul Ulum, when he found out that Mullah Mahdi Naraqi was coming, he then came and rushed towards Mullah Mahdi Naraqi barefoot. And he accompanied him and said, a great man, a beautiful man is you. A person who acts towards his teaching and has great akhlaq. He said, come inside and teach us and let us benefit from you. He sat Mullah Mahdi Naraqi down, and he sat in front of him as a student would do to a teacher, and he said, come and teach us, let us benefit from you. After he had finished, Mullah Mahdi Naraqi, Sayyid Bahrul Ulum then got up with Mullah Mahdi Naraqi, then accompanied him while he was leaving barefoot once more. And he said that and he said, Mullah Mahdi Naraqi, the reason I was so harsh and rough with you to begin with was to test you to see that you who wrote such a great book, Jamu' as-Sadat, Sa'adat, were acting towards what you preached. To see that whether you were really what you portrayed and showed. The book of Jamu' as-Sa'adat, he says that you have to have forgiveness towards each and every one of your Muslim believing brothers. I want to see, do you have? The book of Jamu' as-Sa'adat said that don't have bad thoughts and bad ideas of what the actions of others might do have. I wanted to see whether you were like that as well. I wanted to shake you up, stir you, and see that whether um, when I shake you or stir you, if any ugliness or corruption would come out. No, the exact opposite. No matter how much I stirred you, no how much I shaked you, all I saw was beauty. And so this is a perfect portrayal of akhlaq from Mullah Mahdi Naraqi. Now, when we portray from ourselves good akhlaq, morals, we are like diamonds, rubies, jewels, ornaments for the religion of Islam. Let us all be ornaments and jewels for Islam, because we can also see that in the hadith that was brought in the beginning from the Prophet, he says that I was brought so that I may complete for you the teachings or the guidances of morals and good behavior. May Allah inshaAllah give us all the tawfiq, success of becoming among the true Shias of the Ahlul Bayt, and may we all be alim and amil to the teachings of the Ahlul Bayt alayhimus salam inshaAllah. Wa sallallahu ala sayyidina